All right, good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. and we are opening tonight's City Council meeting, Tuesday, January 6, 2026. If you'd all please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Item 1, public comments and announcements. At this time, we would like to listen to any member of the audience on any subject matter, whether or not the item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per speaker, shall be limited to city business or city-related business or matters of general public interest, and shall not include any personal attacks or abusive language. All public remarks shall be addressed to the chair. Comments shall not be directed toward individual council members, city staff, or other members of the public. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, members may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda. When your name is called, please come to the podium and state your name and address clearly into the microphone before making the comments. I believe the microphone is already turned on. First, we have Rob Lamy. Rob?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Happy New Year to everybody. Just here tonight to bring up a little issue we've got in the neighborhood in regards to short-term rental, Airbnb, VRBO. We have a property next door to us. I've sent video and/or photos to everyone. I don't know if everybody's gotten it yet. I was a little late today doing it, but January 1st, around 4:30 in the afternoon, I got home from travel. The home next door, which is 1834 Lakeside, carload of teens were dropped off. About 30 minutes later, another carload. And within a few hours, there was roughly 30 to 35 teens in the house, partying, throwing stuff out to the lake. Called the police, notified them. They came out. Don't know what was discussed, what wasn't discussed. And this is one of those deals where when it comes to property value and affecting the neighborhood, unlike pretty much like other things in the area, it's very detrimental. And it went on till about 12:30. There were cars parked in our driveway. I had to go over and tell them to remove the cars. Basically just a bunch of young kids, which we all were at one time. But these people rented the place from the property owner, who stated that he has a limit of 5 people on the property at any time, and they had over 30 there. And this is the type of stuff that we really need to address, especially in residential neighborhoods. And when it affects my house and everybody else surrounding me, it's one of those things that we've got to come up with some type of plan to resolve it. I understand it's revenue for the city in rentals, but it's one of those deals where it's not something that we should have going on, especially in a residential neighborhood. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up real quick is the property over by Sam's Boat. Also sent the photographs of that. I go down there and take pictures of the sunsets in the afternoon. And there's lots of trash that's been deposited on the property along the bulkhead. A lot of it's coming from the people that are squatting on the few abandoned boats that are still out there when they come back and forth across and leave the trash from the boats up there. And then the homeless people that are also squatting back there. And I submitted those photos to basically everyone also. So if you get a chance to take a look at it, and same deal, maybe we can resolve the problem that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. You had a hard time hearing him? Give us a second to double check the microphone. You got the thumbs up there. Okay, thank you. All right, next, Kelly Stewart.
Good evening, Kelly Stewart. Oh, I came tonight to speak about the warehouses, but I guess there was a typo, or it's not a freezer facility anymore? It's not gonna be a freezer facility? No, okay. So it could never be a freezer facility, or this just limits it to other things? I'm just kind of confused. Okay, that would just be my question. So I would just be curious as to what types of warehouses that can be used, because really everything I had prepared was more about emergency response if it were that chemical. So thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be discussing that again further in the agenda. Captain Josh Middleman.
Good evening, City Council. I'm Captain Josh. My wife and I are liveaboards here in Seabrook at the Lakewood Yacht Club. And tonight I'm here to talk about the ordinance that League City recently passed targeting both liveaboards and derelict boats. It's my understanding that Mayor Nick Long has already reached out to Seabrook about this and is trying to get it passed here as well as all the other municipalities that do surround the lake. We agree with the intention of parts of the ordinance. The boats that are being abandoned are environmental and navigational hazards for the lake. However, the ordinance as it was passed will not address the root of the issue. In fact, we're actually seeing that it's making it worse. Over the past week, we've been visiting with liveaboards and business owners in the area. We spent time walking around JMK5 Marina, which could be, said to be the ground zero for all the issues that League City is facing. League City's ordinance has already forced several boat owners and liveaboards to abandon their boats in JMK5 Marina. Just in the past 2 weeks, we saw 7 people abandon their boats. Those boats will inevitably end up out in the lake, adding to the problem. The ordinance is also extremely vague in all of its definitions. Even a weekend boater, somebody who just comes down from Friday to Sunday every week, could be determined to be a liveaboard based on the way that they have defined it. There's no exceptions in the ordinance for any commercial vessels. Boardwalk Fantasy, the party boats that come out of the barge, all of those could be held to the same standard as a liveaboard boat. My goal for 2026 as a captain was to start a business here in Seabrook, to use my credential that I've earned. However, the ordinance as it was passed does not allow you to conduct business on a boat that could be a liveaboard boat. So it would be illegal for me to, for example, start a charter company or a boating school or any sort of thing like that. Many boat owners are also seeing the waiver requirements as draconian, allowing the city to board, confiscate, and potentially destroy a vessel with as little as 10 days of notice. We've spoken with boat owners from other regions in the area, and many have expressed that if this ordinance spreads to other parts of the lake, they would consider never bringing their boat to Texas. Talking to Mayor Nick Long and the city council in League City, they made it clear that when they drafted their ordinance, they didn't talk to the boating community at all. There was no input from the people who are being directly impacted by this ordinance and its creation. Ultimately, I'm here to ask that if Seabrook plans on following League City's lead on this, please do not rush through this without the input of the boating community. We would love to work with you to ensure that the mistakes they are making do not get repeated, so that we can keep our waters safe for everyone to enjoy and keep our community friendly and welcoming to boaters who play a vital role in Seabrook's economic success. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, A.E. Morphus? No? Okay. Joe McCall?
Joe McCall. Hey, I got a couple things today. One, there's what was it? The warehouse was talked about. I remember voting on a warehouse that was going to be a freezer warehouse. Now I heard it's something different. And I also heard now something about a quiet warehouse has got a different definition. Everybody, any normal human would think when it's a quiet warehouse, it means quiet emanating from the warehouse, not where it's positioned. So anyway, that's pretty strange. I just heard that today. The other thing I'm here about is someone left a gun target on my front door. Ask yourselves this. Anybody here in Seabrook, ask yourself this. How many gun targets have been left at your front door? The answer is 0. Well, there was one left at mine, and I think someone was sending a message. The message I've gotten so far is they're right-handed, they pull the trigger, they don't squeeze it, and they had flyers all over the place on the target, meaning they're not a very good shot. So whoever's trying to send that kind of message just tells me you're a bad shot. So it's kind of strange, but oh well. The police have it. We'll see what they do. I have other friends that are looking into it as well. So if someone's trying to send me a message, just come talk to me. I have my things that I talk about this city that are good, and I have things I talk about at this city that are bad. You know, if someone has a problem with the bad part, there's solutions to that, but leaving gun targets on my front door is not the answer. I know I'm not on city council anymore. I'm a former councilman, but I take it pretty serious, and I hope everybody else does too. So now that the city knows and the city council knows, the public's gonna know, and there's gonna be more on this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Mark Sanford. I can't tell if it's an N or R.
Sanford.
Would you come up to the microphone, please, Mark?
Pardon me?
To the microphone, please.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm here to talk about the warehouse thing. Concern for noise reflection. If they want to put metal up there, the metal's going to reflect. I live 2 blocks over from there. I live on Bayview. The metal would just reverberate and echo back to us. Concrete would help deaden it. Let's see. With the aluminum siding, I imagine windstorm would have to be in there, and they'd have to, that's the other thought we have, a concern we have. The concrete would look better and be more consistent with the other things around our house. So we would be a lot happier. Well, that would go to the quiet warehouse. I'm sorry, I heard what he said, and them telling us they're putting up a quiet warehouse, that's misinstruction. They're quiet warehouses, they're putting it off on the side. As a citizen, when we hear quiet residence or a quiet warehouse, we're thinking, all right, dude, you're going to try and keep it quiet for the rest of the community. The gentleman who talked earlier, that was not in his mind. He just said, this is quiet warehouses mean we're going to. So I'm a little perturbed about that. The other question I have is we have a no noise ordinance. I'm hearing trains during the day, which, okay, but I've heard them at night. And we're not supposed to be hearing. It's a no noise ordinance. So what's up with that? Thank you for listening to me. Cheers.
Thank you. I think that's everyone unless I missed somebody. Okay, thanks, everybody. There you go. The Troubadours are next. Are they out in the lobby? Oh, sorry. Yep, I apologize. I was jumping to the song. Item 1.1, Mayor, City Council, or members of city staff may make announcements about city or community events. Is that you, Tyler?
That's me.
Thank you, sir.
All right, got a few events here, starting with our Christmas tree recycling. The City of Seabrook residents may recycle their real Christmas trees at the Public Works facility from today through January 9th, 2026. Trees must not be flocked or have any decorations. Following January 9th, the trees will be mulched for residents to pick up on a first-come, first-served basis. Once again, that is from today through January 9th, that's Friday, at the Public Works Complex at 1100 Red Bluff Road. Another event we have is Community Shred Day. Residents can help prevent identity theft and fraud by securely shredding paper copies of bills, statements, and other personal documents. All collected papers will be shredded on-site and recycled. This event is limited to City of Seabrook residents only. That'll be happening on Wednesday, January 14th from 4:30 to 6:30 right here at Seabrook City Hall. We have Coffee with a Cop. Join the Seabrook Police Department from 9:30 to 11 a.m. for complimentary coffee and casual conversation at Soul Freak Seabrook Cafe. That will also be on Wednesday, January 14th from 9:30 again to 11 at Soul Freak Seabrook Cafe at 1106 Main Street. Applications are open for a place on the ballot. That'll be opening our applications for a place on the May 2nd, 2026 general election ballot will be open. The available positions are for council member positions 1, 3, and 5. They'll also be taking place on Wednesday, January 14th of this week. My last announcement here, or not, excuse me, January 14th. City offices will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, January 19th, 2026. I think that's everything.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Item 1.2, City Manager Update and Report to City Council on various items that require no action, including Seabrook Boards and Commissions, transportation projects, and City of Seabrook CIP projects.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Here's a picture. So just as a recap, you guys had a fantastic tree planting event this weekend. That was a huge success. On the boards and commissions, December from our last meeting has been pretty quiet, which is typical for a holiday month. However, your Civil Service Commission did meet on December 8th, right after your last meeting. Our Civil Service Commission, our Civil Service City, so we did have a police officer testing in which we had 25 passing candidates, and your Civil Service Commission approved the eligibility list. So those are in the approval process. The Economic Development Corporation has an upcoming meeting this week in which they'll be having the incentive policy discussion in a workshop session to look at the incentive policy and possible changes, in addition to an item looking at additional bollards and chain amenities on the corridor. Your Parks and Trails Committee also has a meeting on January 8th in which it will look at parks and project updates and also look at an old business item on the Keep Texas Beautiful grant with TxDOT for the possible sculpture at the 10th Street exit. For the 146 TxDOT project, not a lot of changes on this. On the northbound, the reconstruction of the new northbound entrance going back to the main lanes is the contractor's main focus for the area in the City of Seabrook limits. So they are still targeting hopefully late January to early February to open up the northbound entrance, which will allow traffic to get back on the main lanes there and not have to go through Port Road. Southern Access Road, this project, not a lot of activity, but we're anticipating in the first quarter of 2026 to get additional updates on this. This is a Port of Houston and Harris County project. This will be a second ingress and egress into the Bayport complex, essentially extending Red Bluff into the Bayport complex. Port of Houston is targeting again Q1 of 2026 for final design to be complete, and we'll have more information on the bidding schedule. The Port Rail Spur, this gentleman that spoke in response to the quiet zone, the city of Seabrook, because it is in the city of limits, we do act as the applicant with the Federal Railroad Administration. All of the paperwork has been sent to the FRA, and we are still pending that final designation of the quiet zones. So you will notice that some of the signs still have the black wrapping, and there is horns. The two warehouses behind the berm area in the industrial district have begun running cars, and so there is horn activity in those intersections until we get the final designation. So hopefully I'll have some additional information now that everybody's coming back from the holiday. Your EMS station for the bond project is coming along. For this next lookout period, we'll have a information meeting tomorrow, but we've got the building shell for the addition going in. The steel structure will be going vertical. Roof construction and wall panel construction can be anticipated. Our target completion is still late May for the completion of this addition. Your municipal pool bond project has all of the underground plumbing complete. The forming of the walls of each pool will begin this month, as well as the rebar and the installation. And then the exterior general contractor work will begin forming up around the exterior of the entire project. The fire training grounds bond project, the tower is on order. We are moving into a contractor phase with the foundations and the piers. Public Works has poured the initial drive into this pad site here, so we are still anticipating hopefully having everything complete by July of this year. A few other projects on the CIP without some visuals on here is we've got a couple of wastewater projects. So we have a lift station permit that we're waiting from the Corps of Engineers. Public Works is also going to be doing a pre-construction meeting for the wastewater treatment plant down here for mobilization to start after we get a finalized schedule. And so we'll start to see that activity on Bayside, future Bayside Park area. The outfall that council approved at the last meeting in the Lake Cove subdivision is underway. And Eastmeyer is held their pre-bid conference today, so we'll open those bids this month. And then Northmeyer, you have on your agenda tonight for consideration to go into design. Public Works is still actively working in-house to replace sidewalks throughout the community, predominantly in the Lake Cove section at this point. And also, since our last meeting in-house, we have contracted and completed with this fiscal year the basketball court repaints. I'll open it up for any questions.
Yeah, a question on the EMS, on the fire station. Do we know roughly when maybe they'll be able to get back into the dorm rooms for the EMS crew?
Since we're going to be meeting this week on our schedule, I'll probably have more information since they're just getting back from the holiday, but I'll kind of have the estimated time on that.
Awesome, thank you.
I had a question, and I meant to ask it earlier when we met, but when did we apply for that quiet zone for the train?
Actually, it was incorporated into one of the earlier Port of Houston agreements, and I believe it's been like 6 years ago. The whole process started 6 years ago. And then once the rail became, the construction of the rail, there was a second paperwork initiated. That's what we did when we first started reporting. That second paperwork went to the FRA, but the actual process had to be put together when the first construction drawings were put together, which was like 6 years ago. So it's been about 6 years in the process.
Okay, so they wouldn't let us finalize the application until the spur was complete? Is that why there's the delay? Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay, thank you. Item 2, presentations. I have several presentations. Item 2.1, Mayor Sweeney to present a certificate of appreciation to the Clear Falls Troubadours for their participation at the Seabrook Veterans Day event, and I believe we're going to have a brief performance by the Troubadours as well. I'm just going to carry everything down to the other podium. Why don't I do the quick presentation, then you can do your, and then we'll get city council and do a picture, if we can fit everybody. All right, thank you for moving the podium. City of Seabrook, Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Appreciation. I, Jim Sweeney, Mayor of the City of Seabrook, do recognize the Clear Falls Troubadours in appreciation for your efforts during the 2025 Seabrook Veterans Day event. We'll do this with a picture later, but if you guys wanted to do a performance first, then we'll get the rest of it. Thank you.
Everyone would like to, we're going to sing the national anthem if you'd like to stand.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was wonderful. Thank you all very much. If everybody would just stay there, City Council is now going to do their rendition. No? Okay. All right. Well, if not, then you got to come down for pictures. Come down for pictures if you're not going to do it then. All right, mic broke. Okay. Everybody come down. We'll squeeze in somewhere and do a picture.
Do you need us to move it?
I'm not sure. I think, except for two of us, anybody can. I'll be in the back.
There's no way. That's what I was thinking. We're accustomed to doing the story this time, so we're
Can
good.
you get it there in the back?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants
Not Karen.
what?
Everybody step forward and accept.
So this is our certificate of appreciation. Thank you very much for helping us. And we're going to hold it like this for a picture and I'll just kind of swipe.
I don't need to be seen there. All right, 1, 2, 3. That's good.
Well, that was fun. Thank you all. Happy New Year. Now we're going to bring the next crew in. Item 2.2, Mayor Sweeney to present a certificate of appreciation to the Leadership Development Corporation for their participation at the Seabrook Veterans Day event. They did the flag ceremony. We're going to do another picture, but these are smaller people. Hi, how are you? Come on down front. City of Seabrook, Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Appreciation. I, Jim Sweeney, Mayor of the City of Seabrook, do recognize the Leadership Development Corporation and appreciation for your efforts during the 2025 Seabrook Veterans Day event. Should I just do the kids do that? Yeah? You guys want to come down for another picture? Not going to get away that easy. City Council going to come down and take a picture. Who's going to accept the? Who's going to appreciate you? No, I'll do it. Everybody?
A little bit
Squeeze it a little
in the
bit.
middle, yeah. There's a big gap in the middle. There we go. There you go. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Everybody okay? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. Okay. Item 2.3, presentation to recognize Seabrook Cheese Company, the Seabrook Economic Development Corporation's Business of the Year for 2025. It's my honor to present this plaque. Russell, did you want to say something? No? I have no words prepared. No words prepared. Would you like to come up and accept the plaque and take a picture? All right. Russell and Christy, come on, or both of you? Yep, come on up. 2025 Business of the Year Award to Seabrook Cheese Company, presented this 6th day of January 2026. And Paul Dunphy, Seabrook Economic. Paul, you want to take a picture? See a city council? Yeah. Is this your second anniversary? Yes, it is. Second anniversary as well. with Seabrook Cheese Company. Get in here, you don't have to hold mine. Tighten it up.
One, two, three. Perfect, guys.
Yes, sir, that's it. Thank you, everyone. It was very nice. Everybody ready? Okay. Item 2.4, presentation of the 2025 annual report from Seabrook Economic Development Corporation, SEDC. Paul Dunphy, EDC President.
Good evening, council and mayor. Nice to see everyone. Happy New Year. We have our annual report from EDC for you this evening, so I'm going to run through our presentation, and obviously any questions you're more than welcome to ask, and I will do everything I can to answer them. As you know, the purpose of the corporation is to use economic development resources to encourage and promote the general economic welfare of the city, its residents, and businesses authorized by the act, and it may be amended. Very technical at the end. I'm going to have to read this off mine because I can't see that. EDC goals, over the years we've set them and they've changed. We try to follow what council is trying to promote and what the city needs, so it is ever evolving. But right at the moment, number one is Seabrook branding, image, enhancement, communication, key marketing initiatives. Number two is focus on development and promotion of Old Seabrook. Provide guidance to the city council on economic development decisions and future land use. Number four, review potential expansion incentives for overall business development, incentives for local relocation and new redevelopment, including district-specific incentives. Number five, recommended the city
Capital Improvement Program, CIP, for capital projects such as streets, drainage, and other infrastructure improvements and benefit of business development. And number 6, support initiatives that promote the redevelopment of the business corridor along State Highway 146 in Red Bluff. The next slides are kind of a detail on each goal. Old Seabrook, obviously, we have multiple projects that we've done this past year, which we'll go over. Midnight Slice and Soul Freak Coffee. And of course, prior to that, it was Merlion. And of course, we have the waste treatment park coming up. That's going to be a big project in the city that we're all going to be involved in. You know, Old Seabrook is definitely a large part of our city, and we have constantly trying to keep it small, keep it quaint as it is, but at the same time, be able to promote and get more businesses in there and more enjoyment of our community. Goals 3 and 4, the incentive policy, which we have this week a workshop on incentive policy. Again, it consistently is trying to focus and making sure that it does what it needs to do as far as our city goes. And incentive, you know, EDC has lots of rules and regulations that we have to follow on what we can support, what we can fund. And so you're always trying to make an incentive policy that is clear for businesses to come forward, request it. That is a major part of it. EDC doesn't go out and tell businesses how to promote their business or improve their facade or do their business, but we are here to accept an incentive request, analyze it for the best of the city, and to move forward with that. Goal 5 is recommended city capital improvement program. We've been doing this over the years, I mean, years and years and years, down to every year we provide funds for the pass and the crushed granite. And so, you know, when you come to capital improvements and benefit of the community and quality of life projects, there is certain rules that we have to follow that we can fund, but obviously always looking to improve our community so that it's enjoyable to live and makes it easier to be in Seabrook. Goal 6, support initiatives to promote the redevelopment of the business corridor along State Highway 146 in Red Bluff. Obviously, this has been from the beginning, probably started, the improvement of State Highway 146 started 20 years ago. Obviously, we've been living it for the last 5 or 6 years, but prior to that, probably the last 10 years, is we've been planning for it. And we've come to the fruition of it, and it's, you know, getting to a point where we are now able to really show people what few pieces are left, try to incentivize to do that. We've got several great projects coming up that the city is involved in and EDC's involved, and we are doing as much as we can to make sure that it is what the city wants and the people, the citizens want. Awarded incentives update this year was, this year, Midnight Slice, the improvement on Main Street, the parking area, Seabrook Plaza, facade, Barge 295, some in reimbursement EDC sales tax. Soul Freak was a parking area on Main Street, Seabrook Professional Plaza, costs associated with improvements, Margarita Jones, and then the Miramar, the shopping center, the parking area. Projects approved so far in 2026 will be Fay and Fay, which is a gas line to the restaurant that was built and is at the time trying to be promoted to be leased on the channel. Margarita Jones is in progress. Seabrook Professional Plaza, Soul Freak, and Seabrook Plaza. 2027, The Edge, Seabrook Plaza 1, and Promaderos. They're all pending, or we have incentive applications coming. We do have 2 warehouse projects coming, and obviously even as of tonight, there's discussion on EDC is not at this moment having any funding, but they are projects that are part of the corridor that we're excited to see, and hopefully the city council can work out the details and get it to where it works for both the economic development of our city and our citizens as far as quality of life. There's a bunch of EDC website analysis. Obviously, we constantly trying to engage developers, engage businesses that want to come to the city of Seabrook. We want to engage larger companies that want to bring some franchises. So we are trying to constantly improve the website and so that it gives them the information they need to make the decisions and hopefully can contact us. As you see the highlights here, yeah, we'll move on that one. Our team, Rick is our new Economic Development Director, and he has come aboard this year and is doing a great job and is extremely involved in the incentive program that we're working on this week. Renea is also just came over, and she's the coordinator, again, supporting Rick and working on outreach to businesses, identifying businesses that we need to engage and hopefully promote some incentives and see what the businesses want as far as EDC funding and identifying something that we can work with them on. Amy is our tourism and special events coordinator. As we've talked about, these are some new things that are coming that we're hoping for some incentive projects. Soul Freak, obviously we have. Your Printing is relocating with some new signage. Fay and Fay is the new restaurant. The Quiet Warehouse and the Freezer Warehouse are just projects in this city, but there is no EDC incentive. Snoopy's Corner Dog is the facade improvement. DeMonte Upscale Event is a potential new incentive. Car Wash is a potential. Specs, they're expanding, and the Furniture Outlet is a new prospect. For years, we've worked with community partnerships, Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, Bay Area Houston Economic Partnership, and Economic Alliance Houston. These are all organizations that promote our area, from NASA to the Ship Channel to Clear Lake, promoting businesses, promoting education, promoting government logistics through the state and federal programs, and just trying to bring interest and money to our community areas, not just Seabrook, obviously, but the whole community, so that the quality of life is improved and good quality jobs are being. This past year, we've done several campaigns. We've been interviewed on the Seabrook is Open after 146. We have our annual Keels and Wheels. This is an event that, obviously most people know Keels and Wheels. It's a national, if not a worldwide, collector car and collector boat event that is worldwide known, and people come from all over the world. And we're fortunate to have it in Seabrook. And so what we do every year at a very low cost is to bring in developers and local city people, other city people, potential people that are bringing businesses in, and entertain them and show them the event, which is spectacular, and say this is part of Seabrook and this is what you can expect from our city. And then we've got some, the 2024 Business of the Year last year was SNAP, and of course this year we just announced Seabrook Cheese Company. Sales tax is where we get our funding, and it, as you can see by the chart, has consistently improved, and the city has done well even through State Highway 146. So we were very fortunate to be able to continue that. And just brief, EDC funding expenditures is advertising, dues. As you can see, you get down to debt payment on some CIP projects and city expenditures, and then the next two are the projects. So we try to put that money into incentives. Moving forward, vision statement, we have support existing local businesses, business marketing and recruitment, quality of life infrastructure, communications, and Old Seabrook. Does anyone have any questions? Would like me to expand on anything?
Yeah, I have a question. You've mentioned the warehouses a few times, and you mentioned quality of life, which I think those are two conflicting things, like with according to the citizens. But from an EDC perspective, how much, like, this doesn't bring any revenue to EDC, right? There's no tax money coming to EDC for these warehouses going in?
No, there's never been an application.
I'm just trying to find the connection between the warehouses and EDC.
There is none.
Okay.
Other than it's economic development in our city, and we're glad to have it.
Well, that's debatable, but okay, thank
No,
you.
it's economic development. And, I mean, yeah, it's debatable if you want it or not, but we have a north side that's been very, I wouldn't say problematic, but it is in a commercial area. You have a railroad spur, you got a port. We fought it for years. I was part of the fight, and we negotiated it out, and we've got what it is. So now what do we do with this land that does not bring in any revenue? Now, you put a $20 million building there, that will bring revenue to the city.
Well, you're talking about IDAs, but depreciation of roadways and quality of life, noise implications to many are much greater. So that I don't want to argue. I just
Well,
want.
I'm not arguing, but it's very true. But you already have the port, so there's already thousands of vehicles and trucks going in that area. We have it. So and yes, you could try to leave it. When we negotiated with the port, we put a berm up to protect from the port. That area is a no man's land in the sense that you're not going to build houses there. So none of us want warehouses, but we do live right beside a port. So can we negotiate through planning and through the permitting process a quality building that does limit their business hours, things like that, and that we do get property revenue tax on that? More so than right now, there is very little property tax that the city gets. So I'm not arguing, I'm just stating that we need to work into a middle zone so that we all benefit, because it being vacant does not benefit anybody.
Yeah, my point was it's definitely not quality of life.
Any other questions? Thank you, Paul, for your
All right,
presentation.
thank you.
Have a good evening. Item 3, consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the December 2nd, 2025 City Council meeting.
Please, consent agenda.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve item 3.1, and Councilmember Tolet seconds the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Item 4, new business. I see Sean is here. 4.1, consider and take all appropriate action on the first reading of ordinance 2026-01, a request for approval of amendments to ordinance number 2024-11, Quiet Warehouse Plan Unit Development, PUD. And I'll just read the first 2 lines here. An ordinance amending ordinance 2024-11 for update revisions to Quiet Warehousing PUD Plan Unit Development consisting of 3.697 acres, et cetera, et cetera. Sean, what do you have, a recommendation for us?
Yes, so planning and zoning did meet, and their recommendation to city council is approval without any additional amendments. So basically approval as presented to y'all is part of specific public hearing.
I'll entertain a motion to approve 4.1.
Move to approve 4.1.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Cabina seconds 4.1. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask the attorney a question. So there was a statement made by a gentleman that was on planning and zoning for League City for many years, and it says that opening this PUD opens back up, like we can come back with an alternate recommendation. Is that accurate statement?
And to the extent that they didn't comply with the conditions of their original PUD, you can look at the entire application before you.
Okay, so opening this up does open up discussion for the PUD as a whole.
Right, I mean, that's what you're considering, and that was, what the hearing was about, was the amended PUD.
Okay.
The amendments to the PUD.
Yeah, okay, because when I asked that question previously, I was kind of told otherwise. So that's why I wanted to ask you. So I wanted to discuss maybe the recommendation of at least moving that warehouse back further away from that property line, as was discussed by Mr. Zeller. 15 feet is very close, and if it sounds like it's going to be voted to change it to aluminum, which I have, or to the metal siding, which I still have issue with, but we could at least make it a little bit more accommodating and push it away from the homeowners, because this will cause more noise issue.
The distance is between there and the RV park, not the homeowners, which are across the street.
Sure, but it's also closer to the homeowners.
I understand if you're talking about the RV park, but the person that owns the RV park is the same person that owns the warehouse. And if they're satisfied with it,
Understood, but 2 streets down are an entire row of homes.
Is there anyone else who has anything to add? No. All right. Then we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Councilmember Cervantes is opposed. The motion carries. Item 4.2, consider and take all appropriate action on the first reading of ordinance 2026-02, an ordinance authorizing the sale of Bay Vista Property Owners Association, all the right-of-way generally located within the Bay Vista subdivision known as Bay Vista Drive, originally platted as Palm Drive and Flamingo Lane, providing for the determination and payment of fair market value, authorizing conveyance by limited warranty deed, providing conditions precedent, and containing other related provisions. An ordinance authorizing the sale of Bay Vista Property Owners Association, all the right-of-way generally located within the Bay Vista subdivision known as Bay Vista Drive. Sean, you want to?
So this is just a continuation from the last meeting that we had discussing this. As part of that action, you ordered staff to prepare the ordinance so that we can move forward with the abandonment of this right-of-way and the conveyance to the HOA. So this is just one of the formalities of going through that process.
move to approve 4.2.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 4.2, the first reading. Councilmember, I'll call Sissom, call the second. Any further discussion? Any questions for Sean? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? None.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unanimous. Item 4.3, consider take all appropriate action on approval of proposal from Duplantis Design Group, PC DDG, for professional design services on the North Meyer paving project, Seabrook CIP S27, in the amount of $330,450 plus reimbursable expenses, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement and any associated documents.
Move to approve 4.3.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Hammond to approve 4.3, and Councilmember Sanford, I'll let her slide in as a second. Do we have any discussion, or Brian, you have anything to say about that?
No, I'm good.
This is the project that the county essentially never followed through on.
The county is not with our timetable.
Taking their time?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Anybody have any comments or questions or anything? If not, all in favor? And opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you. All right, item 4.4, consider and take all appropriate action on a proposal with Branch Construction Group for CIP D19 for 4 outfall locations for repair in an amount of $158,060, and authorize the city manager to execute the proposal and any associated documents.
Move to approve 4.4.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 4.4. Councilmember Tolet seconds. This is the same construction company that's currently doing the outfall on Fort Trace.
Yep.
Any comment or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 4.5, consider take all appropriate action on Task Order 3, Widow Bryan's Professional Services Agreement with PSA for grant writing services in an amount not to exceed $40,500 for a city application to the U.S. Department of Transportation's USDOT Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development Build Grant.
Make a motion to approve 4.5.
Second.
Councilmember Tolet makes the motion to approve. Councilmember Hammond seconds the motion. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you. Item 4.6, consider take all appropriate action on approval of proposal from Honeywell in an amount of $24,511.81 for a heater unit at the Seabrook Fire Station. This is an unbudgeted item and will require a budget amendment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Sessom makes a motion to approve. Councilmember Tolet seconds. Do I have any discussion or questions? Hearing none, I will take a vote. All in favor? Opposed? None. Thank you. Unanimous. Item 4.7, consider take all appropriate action on the approval of the purchase of new court and council chamber seating from the National Business Furniture through the Purchasing Cooperative Buy Board for an amount of $22,235.71. This will come from the Public Education and Government PEG Fund.
Move to approve 4.7.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 4.7. Councilmember Tolet seconds the motion. Are there any questions or discussion on this item?
Yeah, I think that this is an unnecessary expenditure. The seats are fine, and that PEG fund, although it's a dedicated fund, as we discussed previously when we were talking about the recorded meetings, we'll have to buy new servers and we'll have a need for that money in the future. So replacing chairs that are still in good condition, to me, is just wasteful.
Any other comments, or anyone have a different opinion or another opinion, or want to make a comment? If not,
What-
having a motion in a second.
What's the age of these chairs?
20, I think they're 20 years, 22 years.
Yeah, it was after so 2008, when Ike came in, they were replaced.
Yeah, think of your bed, 20 years.
What happens to the old chairs?
All things like this go to a public auction.
Any further questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Councilmember Cervantes opposes. The motion carries by majority of City Council. Thank you. Item 5, routine business. 5.1, establish future meeting dates and agenda items. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor and Council, your next scheduled regular meeting is on January 20th at 6 p.m.
All right, hearing no further business for this council, we are adjourned at 6:55 p.m. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Right.